Hey everyone, I am Bill Price. I'm here with my business partner, Nick Macri. I'm here with John Smith and Mortgage Smith, and we also have Gogo. Gogo is one of the top agents in the nation. Gogo, welcome to be here.
Thank you for having me.
And you know what's great? You know, Gogo is so popular on social media and such a legend across the country. She doesn't have a last name. Her name's Gogo. It's like Madonna, Prince, MJ. That's how popular she is. So, Gogo, listen, we want to start right away. We want to learn about you, okay? So, you are from Romania, correct?
Yes, I'm Hungarian by nationality, but I was born and raised in Transylvania, Romania.
Okay, so what brought you here? or how'd you get here?
How I followed wherever Eddie Murphy is. I'm not kidding, but that's the truth. Romania was communism until 89. I was born in 81. So right when communism ended in 1989, I remember my dad going and buying a color television and a VCR player, and he came home with two tapes, Eddie Murphy's 48 Hours, the first 48 hours and the second 48 hours. And I don't know how much you know about communism, but it's literally like living in a shoebox with the lid on. You're cut off, your mail is censored, there's no television to the Western world, there's no radio, there's really nothing to the outside. So I've never seen anything but white people. I've never heard any other language but Romanian and Hungarian. So I didn't even know existed. So when I saw Eddie Murphy's movie, and I thought as an 8-year-old that he was the funniest human being I have ever seen. And he seemed to me so happy. As an 8-year-old, I thought he must be happy because of where he's at. And so that's my first recollection of going to, not even knowing that's America. I was going to wherever Eddie Murphy was.
How old were you when you came to America?
21.
21.
Yeah, so life works in funny ways. I mean, that's my first recollection of putting that intentional or unintentional note to the universe of I'm going to America, even though I didn't know that was America where I'm going. And then when I was 21, then my internal GPS figured out a way how to get from A to B. And when I was 21, then I got the opportunity to come to the U.S. as an au pair, a live-in nanny. And I landed on January 20th of 2003 in New York. I didn't know a single human being on this whole continent.
Wow. So you came to New York and you started being au pair?
Well, I went through training. So in New York, there was I can't remember if it was a week or two, but we did like an au pair training. And then I was sent out to my host family here in Brighton, Michigan.
Okay, so you live in Michigan now, married to your amazing husband, Dwayne.
Yeah.
And you have two boys. You have Duke, who's 10, and you have Kobe, who's 12 years old.
Mm-hmm. So I met Dwayne in a bar in 2003. So I was here for barely 2 months, and I met Dwayne in a bar, and I was moved in after 2 months, and we were married after 4. So it's been now 17 years that we've been married.
Wow. So you met in New York City. How long did you live in New York City till you moved to Michigan?
1 week. 1 or 2 weeks. I can't remember how long the training was, but a week or two.
Okay, so now you're in Michigan, and what are you doing for work?
At that point, nothing, because I was, an au pair. So I was an au pair. I lived with a family, and I took care of their children for about 6 months. And right around that time, so I was 2 months here already when I met Dwayne. Then I moved in with him 2 months, and 2 months after we were married. So I worked for the family for about 6 months. And then I left the au pair program altogether because by that time we were married.
And what brought you to real estate?
So I didn't work for a while because you have to go through the whole, green card situation. So I did that. And as soon as I got a job, or the ability to work, then I did everything from being a babysitter to working in a jewelry store to corporate America job. And I worked corporate America up to last minute with both of my pregnancies. I pretty much finished working at 4 and I delivered at 5:30. So I drove to the hospital that night. So I worked up to last minute, and I always wanted to work. My mom always worked. This whole stay-at-home thing, it's not really a thing in Europe. So it was never even my idea to be a stay-at-home mom. Never crossed my mind. But then when my second baby was born, he got Giardia, a freshwater parasite. He got very, very sick. And I was forced to stay home. So I did that for 2 years. And then I realized that that's also not for me. So it was process of elimination of what I don't want to be when I grow up. And my neighbor, I was watching HGTV a lot at the time. I was a stay-at-home mom, and my neighbor is the marketing director for Capital Title, a local title company. And she thought I would make a good realtor. So one day in the end of the driveway, she brought up the conversation, and she said, I already introduced you to a broker at Real Estate One. Go talk to them. I went and talked to them. They told me they would even pay for my real estate school if I pass it. I passed first try. I went and worked for them for 6.5 years.
Wow. So 6.5 years now, you've been a realtor.
Well, no, that was 6.5 years with them.
Yeah.
Then I went to KW for 8 months, and now I've been with eXp for 1.5 years.
Gotcha. So you have a team. It's you and your husband.
Yeah.
Do you guys concentrate on residential real estate mostly?
Yes. I dabbled into commercial, but I don't have that much patience.
So before we get into social media, because you have such a great presence, and I'm going to have Nick take over a lot of this interview because he's our social media expert here. Okay. What do you think, though, real estate wise, what's the one thing that really gets your business going? What's the one thing that cycles over and over? Is it your sphere of influence? Is it open houses? Is it print ads? Is it social media? What is the one thing that is the driving force behind your business?
Social media, 100%.
Okay, with that, okay, we're going to go right to Nick. So Nick, you got your cue. Gogo says, I am the social media queen. So ask away.
I didn't say that. Somebody came up with that.
I said it. Listen, at our conventions, we all say it, Gogo.
It's probably trademarked at this point. So just own it, I would embrace it. Yeah. So I wanted to just start off by asking, because we have a group where we have a lot of questions asked on our Zoom calls every week. And so one thing that was brought up that we wanted to ask you right off the bat is just in 60 seconds to all the people out there wondering, hey, I don't have an audience. How do I, stand out from all the competition? Because there's so many people on social media right now, especially with everyone being home, right? What's the best way to stand out and get started?
So the most important part when you decide to do social media marketing is to realize that you're not selling real estate. You're selling yourself and your services. So if they don't feel comfortable being in front of the camera, they're not going to make it on social media, because anybody can sell a house, no offense. Every house will eventually sell. How fast, for how much money, how you negotiate the bottom line, those terms could be different, but anybody can sell a house. Okay, now how you're going to do that, and if you want to do that with social media, then you have to take it seriously. You have to consider it as a job. So when agents are like, okay, I cold call, when they schedule that every day from 8 to 11, I do social media. That is my job. So I take it seriously. I am in all of my photos and videos at least 80, almost 90% of the time, if you can see it. It's not that I don't post my listings, I do, but I don't do the just listed, just sold, these are the closed listings, you're not in it, these are the stats. Those things don't work, because people in average are on the market every 6 months, every 7 years in average for about 6 months, 7 to 10 years, about 6 months. So if they're not on the market for the next home, they really don't have a real estate interest. So you have to keep them interested in what you do, so then you can stay top of mind when they're ready to be back on the market. So for that, you have to be okay with what I call the shameless self-promotion.
So give us an example of that shameless self-promotion. What does that entail?
Go on my Instagram and you'll see about, let me see, how many examples. You are going to be able to see 3,095 examples.
Wow.
So
how many posts?
Yeah, go to Gogo's Real Estate on Instagram, and you will see about 3,095 shameless self-promotions.
So take one step back. So that's how many times you posted on Instagram. Is that correct?
Yes.
So that's just the number of posts. And then on top of that, you're posting stories 3, 4, 5, 10 times a day. Yes. So let's talk a little bit about the content. There's always the debate of quality versus quantity. And so you mentioned that you edit a lot of your pictures. What are some of the editing apps maybe that you use? And for people that maybe don't have the time to edit, what do you say to them about just getting content out there?
So if you don't have time for social media, then you're going to have to find what is your money-making activity. We don't do social media just to post. Okay, so if you're doing it to make money with it and build leverage and save time and build a team and whatever reasons you're doing it for, then you have to take it seriously. You have to edit your photos. Your social media feed is your storefront. So if you don't take it seriously, if you're posting pictures of your cat and selfies where I can see up in your nose and it's blurry and it's not edited, I can tell you're not taking it seriously. So there's no reason for me to follow you. If you're just throwing some pictures at the wind, it's not intentional. If you don't even have a reason why you posted that. If you look at my post, there's always a reason. I'll tell a story that maybe an idea that's on my mind, but then I ask questions at the end. I get people involved. I ask their opinion. I ask them if this ever happened to them. You want to keep people entertained on your profile, because the more time they spend watching your video, the more Instagram is going to say, oh, whatever you posted must be interesting, and then they push it to other people. But in order to do that, you have to keep their attention.
Yeah, so you talk about keeping attention and being engaging. And so some of the ways to track those, obviously, you're looking at your insights. And right now we're speaking specifically about Instagram and a little bit on Facebook, because they actually will give you some more insight, I think, more than any other of the social media platforms out there. So to those people that are not maybe aware of that, or don't know what the insights are, do you want to tell them a little bit about that?
People run business on personal, and that's the biggest no-no in my opinion. A, because on personal account you're limited to 5,000 people. So I would have outgrown that 8 years ago. B, my friends and my family didn't sign up for the idea of me being a realtor. I don't want to shove it down on their throat every second of the day that the new home got listed in Bethke, Michigan. That's not what they want to be, the friends with me. Okay. They also don't want to hear what's going on in the realtor side of the real estate industry. And I talk a lot about the good, bad, and the ugly of being a realtor. So in my opinion, if you take your business seriously, then you should create a business page, have your friends and family follow you there, because if they love you, they would love to support you. So then you invite them over to following your business page. So then they can see what's going on in your business life, but it's not shoved down on their throat. And then when you have business pages, then you have insights. Just as you said, you can go in the background and see what's going on, who's following you, what time of the day they log in, what days you get most of your traffic. Are they men? Are they women? What ages are they? What area are they located in? So if you decide to throw money at advertising, which I don't do, only time you ever see advertising is regarding Gogo's bootcamp. I don't advertise for leads. With that, then you know what, okay, if you decide to throw $5 and running an ad in Brighton, Michigan on $10 a day, then you know who your target audience is. You don't want to target the 70-year-olds if your target audience is between 30 to 40, because that's your biggest bang at the buck. What do they say in English? That's return on your investment. Okay. So you want to know your insights, because that way you can be intentional with your money and you know exactly who is the most likely to buy from you.
Yeah, I think that right there is perfect. I mean, that's a perfect response to, hey, should I do everything from a personal or business page? Well, do you want to actually know, your
you kind of are doing this, kind of.
Right?
If you don't take your business seriously, they are not going to take you seriously.
Yeah. I love the example too about the storefront. I mean, like if you're driving down the street, so I have a food magazine that I run with my better half, and she and I started out, just kind of going to restaurants, reviewing them, and doing that kind of stuff. And obviously, we interview local businesses and stuff like that too. But sometimes we'll get recommended a place, and we'll go drive by, and there's nobody there. It's empty, and it looks like it hasn't been cleaned in a while. We're like, yeah, maybe we should go somewhere else. It says a lot about the business if you can't keep it up, or if the locals don't eat there. You always want to go to the place where everyone seems to be around. And so generating that engagement, that buzz, right, is so key. And so tell us a little about some of the tools that you use. Obviously, you're a big Canva queen. So tell us a little bit about maybe Canva or some of the other editing tools that you'd recommend people out there.
I actually don't use Canva a lot. Christy does. Maybe she can talk about it. I use Instagram and Facebook. Mostly my accounts are linked together. So I only post on Instagram. It automatically goes over to Facebook. And then I have a virtual assistant who takes my Instagram posts and posts them for LinkedIn. And then she follows up with messages and stuff like that on LinkedIn to save time, because I get tons of messages on LinkedIn. And most of them, if I end up spending the time to read 400 messages and there's really only 4 of them that I needed to respond to, that's a lot of my time. So I have a virtual assistant who does that. Apps that I use for editing, I am an iPhone user. I'm an Apple lover. So for that, the apps I'm going to give you, but I can also give you the equivalent app for Droid. So I edit my photos. If your photo is a close-up, where you're actually editing your face, you're adding eyelashes, you're putting makeup on, there's many pictures that I take without makeup, and by the time I'm done editing it, I have full makeup on. But I didn't have makeup on in real life when I took the picture. So it's kind of a fun app. It's called Perfect 365. You guys won't need that, but us ladies, we do. And then the other one is Darkroom. So darkroom is any photo. I go through phases. If you go through my profile on Gogo's Real Estate, you'll see there are phases where my photos are kind of pinkish, where all 14 of them are kind of pinkish. Then I go through an orange phase. Then I go to a dark phase. Then I go to a light phase. Or just whatever phase I go through. Whatever you decide to edit your photos, whatever filter you decide to use, make sure you use it for about 14, I think it's 12 or 14 times. Let me see how many. It's about 14, 15 photos. So if you see there are 15 photos on the screen when you're looking at someone's profile, you see all of them. When you go to mine, you'll see all of them are kind of orangey right now. So I'm going through this like orangey phase. I over edit my photos to be more orangey because that's how I feel like right now.
So Gogo, you intentionally do that. You intentionally, not just you go through phases and you just do, are you intentionally saying, I am going to start posting with this kind of gray or orange tints, pink tints, intentionally to do that?
Absolutely. So if you decide to use some sort of a filter on one photo, then you have to use it 14 more times. Because if not, it's going to be an eyesore on your profile. So right now, they all blend in. You see, they all have that kind of same filter, same darkness to them, orangey darkness to them. So when I decide to switch it, then I'm going to have to switch it on the next 14 photos as well. So then when somebody's looking at it, my storefront is organized, it's designed, it's pretty, it's inviting, I'm selling them something. Think of it this way. Let's say you're walking down on the street of realtors. Okay, there's cute little boutiques. Everybody has their own place. So this is social media. There's 2 million of us on here. Okay, when people are looking at profiles, you want them, what are we doing? We are selling. Like it or not, we are selling ourselves to the general public. We want them to use us as the realtor. So this is our storefront. Now you have to make your storefront appetizing for them to come in and buy something. And that's what you want them to do. You want them at least to come in so then you can stay in front of them. And by posting, as you said, Nick, that how I post about once or twice a day into my feed and about 10, 14 times a day into my story. What happens with that, you do that to stay top of mind. They're not going to read every single post you make. They're not going to like it. They might not comment. But just when they're cruising through in the internet with one eye open in the middle of the night trying to get to the end of Instagram before you fall asleep, you just want to pop up. When you pop up, that's an image in the back of their mind. Oh, it's that Gogo chick again. Oh, Gogo's hustling. Gogo probably sold another house. Or it's Gogo. That's all you want. You want them to remember who you are. And be able to recognize you. I can't go to the grocery store now without people knowing who I am and what I do. And I didn't do anything. I did this organically with the power of social media. I posted pictures of myself. I created myself to be a brand.
Yeah.
And it's that simple for everybody. But you have to be okay with being in front of the camera.
Yeah, I think
brand.
And I think one other great thing that you've done is that you tag a lot of people. Sometimes you tag like 4 or 5 people in your stories, and then they repost your tag because Instagram will notify you who's tagged you in the story and say, hey, do you want to add it to yours? And then you do the same. Someone tags you in their story, you will feature them on your page. And what does that do for them? It's like, it's like that, they see that and they get that hit of dopamine. Oh, whoa, I got a notification. Oh, Gogo just reposted me, and then they're going to do it more. They're going to tag you more, and then now organically you're growing your following, and you don't have to do anything except just, give a little shout out here, return, and that's all it is.
It does the same thing for them. So when I share, 45,000 people going to see it. When they share, their followers going to see it. So it helps both of us. But you should give credit. If you're closing with another agent on the other end, and it was an awesome transaction, which I'm going through one right now, that's literally, she's so freaking nice. And I was on my walk this morning, I'm like, there has to be a catch. There's any minute some axes are flying here. Like, you know what I mean? I've been in it for so long, and I always just expect another asshole, and excuse my French, on the other end. And this agent is so nice and sends just the nicest follow-up emails, and she's on it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what's wrong with her? But, when you're having an awesome experience with somebody, even if it's another realtor on the other end, help each other. There's enough for us to go around. There are enough slices of the pie. We can all get a slice of it. And by helping them grow and showing the industry that you can have a good relationship and how smooth this transaction went, more than likely they're going to use you or them in the next transaction, and everybody wins.
Gogo, I got a question. Nick started asking about posting. How do you categorize? Let's do percentage. If we had business posts, personal advice, recommendations, is it 10% personal, 90% business? How do you, split that up?
I guess describe what you call personal. I can tell you what I call personal. My children are very personal. How I raise them and who they are, that's very personal. And I don't do that on Instagram. Very seldom you're going to see my children on there. If you ever see them, they're probably in the story with a cute little something. Also, my Facebook personal page is personal. I have like 1,400 people on there. Those are people that I actually know, I have met. I like them. I would hang out with them. I wish them happy birthday. Everybody else that requests to be personal friends of me, it won't happen. If I don't know you personally, I don't let you into my real life. If you think about it, my parents are back home in Romania. That's the only way for them to see my children grow up. I don't need strangers to see my children grow up. You have children, I have children, I'm happy, raise them and all that. I don't care to know what you had for lunch. I don't want to see your cat, none of that. So that for me is personal. Now, do I want you to talk about personal issues, thoughts in your mind? What makes you you? Entrepreneurial things, millionaire mindset. What books are you reading? What do you stand for? What are your beliefs? What's your hustle? What's your ethics? All of those things are still personal because it comes from your human side, even though it's a part of your business element. I want you to talk about that, but I don't want to. You can't mix the two where you're like constantly showing your 2-year-old running around. Like, that is not going to make you money. Yes, we all have children. Our children run around too all day. But if there is a way to talk about, let's say you go on a family vacation and it's the first vacation that you have taken because you have been so freaking busy and you're so excited to have this time with your family. Yeah, that's absolutely, you can post about it because that ties back into real estate, ties back into how this has been the hottest market. Nobody was expecting this. You're heading into COVID and finally being able to take a week away with the family, how important that is to you. Absolutely share that. But so you have to be able to separate, in my opinion, business personal versus personal.
Yeah, I love that. John, you had a question, right?
No question. I'm just listening. I'm just soaking it in. No, I'm kidding. No, absolutely go. But it's great stuff. I mean, what we're talking about here in Gogo, I mean, you're talking about brand. Everything is about your brand, building your brand and using the platform to build your brand. I wrote down here, you put shameless self-promotion and you put, you also said sell, you want them to buy. And I think a lot of people kind of, what's that? Without
selling. Yeah.
I get it. But I love the way you kind of embrace the idea of like, absolutely, we are here as salespeople to sell and we want people to buy. And it's okay to do shameless self-promotion. So I think a lot of people get stuck with that. Like, I'm not a salesperson. I don't want to sell.
But you are a sales, so you are a salesperson. You're selling. Like it or not, you are a salesperson. Absolutely.
I tell people that as well. They go, I don't want to be a salesperson. I'm like, absolutely. Embrace the idea of a salesperson. There's nothing. That's a incredible. What opportunity more a career can you bring that kind of value than that? Besides maybe a physician, it is a great opportunity. So what I want to ask you in terms of that is just kind of reiterate that. Like you said, I was just about to ask you that. So how do you, then I'd like you to dig a little deeper on how do you sell without selling? How do you bring that shameless self-promotion without saying I'm shamelessly self-promoting myself? What's your technique or your strategy to kind of marry those and blend those together?
So you provide value. And that way, that will automatically make you the local expert. Right. The more you share, the more you help, the more knowledge you have about the industry and the market, and the more you can help people through very stressful, probably the most money they'll ever spend transactions, the more they're going to be happy, the happier they are, the more they refer you, and it just goes on and on. But I always share the stories. Let's say you read about the market. I see people posting flyers all the time. Oh, right. Keeping Current Matter says we're probably going to have a 6% deduction in value or market drop. And then I post a flyer. Why don't you just read that and create a video about that? And say, right. Hey guys, I just read the Keeping Current Matters, the newest article. They are saying that we might drop in value about 6%. So if you were thinking about selling, you might want to beat them to that and list now while the market is still hot. Now, all I did is read an article this morning and said out loud what I said. But because it's coming out on my mouth, it automatically makes me the expert.
I love it. Research and repurpose. That's what I call it.
Read it out loud what you just said.
I love that strategy you shared. So I hope people take note of that. Absolutely. You research, you just talked about, you look, you find an article, you read it, and then you repurpose it as your own personal content. That's what makes content. A lot of people say, like, where do I find content? I don't know what to say. How do I do it? What you just said, Gogo, there's your answer.
Yeah.
Boom. Nice. That's great stuff.
Gogo, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Okay. So obviously you've been selling real estate for a while now. You have your own sphere of influence, repeat clients.
Mm-hmm.
How do you reach out and touch your clients? Is it emails, Facebook, phone calls, mailers? What do you do to keep nourishing that relationship so you will always have repeat business? Obviously, you're just not going to forget about them, but what do you do to nourish that relationship?
So everything I do is social media. So I also follow my clients. So when they follow you, I follow back. So when they post, I see their children graduating. I see they bought a new puppy. I see that they are upsizing, downsizing. It's an awesome way of like, oops, you're having a baby. That's perfect opportunity. Hey, Jessica, I see that you need to upsize. Can I help?
I literally just did that yesterday because a good friend of mine posted a picture, and I did not realize that his wife was so close to being due. I shot him a message, said, "Hey man, I forgot to congratulate you a couple months ago when I saw the pictures, but congratulations and everything." And he said, "Yeah." And he said it before I even got to say it. I was just about to text him the next text, like, "Hey, I know you're going to be looking for a place." He said, before I even get to text it, send. He already has said back to me. He said, "Yeah, we're actually thinking about looking for a house now. Our lease is up in 6 months. I think we're ready to finally move in." I said, "You know where to find me." So it was
exactly. So that's how it works, and it's organic. It's free, just like the way they have access to you, have access to them. So just keep an eye on their account. You wish them happy birthdays. You wish them happy anniversary. We do have in our system. We use LionDesk for our transactions, and we have anniversary dates that are saved in there that just kind of pop up in my calendar. So I also kind of just reminded of that to reach out to them. But I also listen to this yesterday. I don't know if it's intuition, gut feeling, God sends me a message, whatever you call those things. I'm brushing my teeth yesterday, and I saw this guy a house. His name is Graydon, probably 4 years ago, and he had the same birthday as I do. So I call him my birthday buddy. For whatever reason, yesterday as I'm brushing my teeth, he pops in my head. I haven't seen him since. So I sent him a message. I said, "Hey, Graydon, I hope you're doing good. For some reason, you popped in my head. I hope you guys are doing good. I hope the house in the neighborhood is treating you well." And he messages me back, and he goes, "Well, actually, my other half and I want to live in the same house, and we want to just kind of start over. So we want to sell both and move into one together."
wow.
3 deals. Good job.
One
So
picture.
that's how it works. That's my follow-up. I run business on gut feeling. So if God puts an idea in my head, I always act on it. There has to be a reason why God wanted me to think of Graydon.
I gotta back that up, Gogo, because I have always lived by this mantra that if you have an idea or something, I don't know where I saw it, probably some TV show or something stupid, right, that I saw, but then I've always lived by it since then, which is like, if you have an idea, a great idea, like you said, you thought of this client randomly. If you don't think to text or call them in the next like 6 seconds, you're not gonna do it. So just do it right away.
I had one hand toothbrush, and when I sent iPhone, I hit the volume. I said, "Text Graydon."
That's me. I do the same thing.
Toothpaste in my mouth as I was doing it. I always act, and I call them, ideas from God, because it was not my idea. God wanted me to think of Graydon, so I did, and I text. I always act on it, though, always.
And that's great. That was my point. Is like, it doesn't, wherever it comes from, you get that intuition. God, is telling you, you gave you this message you need to send, or you're thinking about someone today special for whatever reason it is. Just act on it right away. Like, don't delay. Just go right for it, because otherwise you're gonna forget. And so,
So, Bill, to answer your question, now that we went off of the rabbit hole right here, to answer your question, follow the people that follow you, especially if they're local, because everybody. And here's the thing with social media: everybody's like, "Well, I sell in Timbuktu." Well, I sell in Pinckney, Michigan, guys. You can't even find it on the freaking map. Okay, that doesn't mean that I can sell anywhere, literally anywhere, that there's another realtor that I can send a referral to. Like this month alone, we're closing on like 4 or 5 referrals that all came from Instagram.
I love Pinckney.
Some people Pinckney, yeah, you can't even find it. So you don't have to be in metropolitan areas to be a top producing agent. The clients don't necessarily have to even live or move to your neck of the woods. They could be anywhere.
And I'll say this too.
There, make the connections, take a 25% referral fee. There is money in your bank account.
And you also don't have to live in a metropolitan area to be like the center of attention in your community. You know, you can be in a small town and start a group. Like we have an agent in our team. Bill and I have an agent in our team, Carla Coffey, and she lives in Statesville, North Carolina, north of Charlotte. And it's a small town. And so she's like, you know, a lot of people know each other. It's a small, homey feeling. It's not, you know, big city. And she's like, and I was trying to figure out a way to, you know, be more of that social media person online and she started a group. And within a couple of weeks, she had hundreds and hundreds of people that joined. And now she has people that are engaging in the group. And she's the creator and founder of that group. And so you don't have to be, you know, in New York City to go out and, you know, and start.
Everybody has to live somewhere. Everybody needs a roof above their head. Everybody's a customer. Potential.
So, Gogo, I want to turn the clock back. You moved to the United States when you're 21. That's a pretty, you know, bold thing to do by yourself.
Yeah.
Was there a time?
$200 because I didn't even have.
Yeah. Yeah, you told me earlier you had to borrow like $200 to actually make the trip.
Yeah.
What gave you that confidence to go do that? Was there something in your childhood that you accomplished, that you just had that gumption, you just had that confidence to go do that? Because 99.9% of the people would not do that.
I'm crazy. I'm kidding, but I am. What made it? I think my thing is, I remember my best friend was supposed to come with me. So we went through the whole process. We both got the job. And last minute, she's like, I can't do it. I can't do it. She's like, I can't leave everybody behind and leave our life and go live in another country. And I still did it. Even then, by myself, I was like, well, I'm going either way. For me, as I don't have a plan B. I only have a plan A. So when I set my mind to something, that's the only option. We're going to get it done no matter what. But I knew that if I come to America and this doesn't work out, guess what? My parents were waiting for me with open arms to go back home. I know where Transylvania is. I can always just get a plane ride and go back home if this doesn't work out. But who knows if I would have ever gotten another chance to build a life here. And I always wanted to.
You know, so obviously you're a lucky wife to get Dwayne. But Dwayne's also extremely lucky to get you in his life. I mean, the chances that you guys met.
Gosh.
I mean, you know, I mean, you said you met at a bar?
Yeah.
Did you just cross paths, or was he bold enough to approach you, or were you bold enough to approach him?
So he had an experience with another lady prior to me that also had an accent, and he really liked that experience. So one of his buddies was going to the bathroom in the bar and heard us girls, because we were like 4 or 5 au-pair girls talking, and heard that we all have an accent. And so he went back and he's like, hey, there's a hot chick with an accent. So he came up to the hot chick with an accent. And that's how it started. And then I just thought he had the most mesmerizing blue eyes I've ever seen.
He does have pretty eyes. Yeah.
And the rest is history. He gave me, still have the napkin that he wrote his phone number and his address on it. He probably thought I don't know how to use a phone or something. I don't know. I'm going to ride my bike over there. So I still have it.
So Gogo, we know what you bring to your real estate team. What does Dwayne bring to your real estate team?
So Dwayne just joined us. He got licensed last year. He's been working corporate America this whole time. He had what I call a real job.
Yeah.
He left his real job October 2nd last year. And he's now a full-time realtor. So
is there something in his team? Does he take care of buyers? Does he take care of listings? Does he help you with social media? What's his specialty?
Yeah, so he does it all. I do most of the agent attraction stuff. So I do a lot of personal agent attraction, a lot of three-way calls for the team. And he tries to do most of the legwork on the actual transactions. But lately, all that got put back on my plate because Dwayne's dad got really sick and he passed. July 3rd was his funeral. And so he just had a lot of that on his plate. So everything got put back on mine. But usually what he will be doing is mostly transactions.
Gotcha. Okay, listen, before I do a review, I'm going to have Nick and John finish up, and then we'll come back for a review, and then we'll let you go after that.
Sounds good.
Well, I'll jump in right there. I mean, great stuff, Gogo. I really appreciate you sharing with us. Not only are we talking about kind of social media your brand, or what's coming through his mindset as well too. I mean, you can just feel it. I just feel it through this call to mindset. You have I can do this mindset. You know, I only have a plan A. I mean, you were saying a lot, that's mindset stuff, and that's it. So what I'm talking about is what compounds from that is really a vision. You have a vision to get stuff done, a vision to execute on this, and using this social media platform. I wanted to kind of get a little bit of quick take of there. Would you say that's accurate, or what would you say kind of created that? Is that just from the way you were brought up, a book you've read, something that motivates you, something that ongoing motivates you? What's your thoughts on that?
So I'm sure it has a lot of our reactions to life. It has a lot to do with what happened to you in childhood, which for me, it did for me who I am today. But then I also had to go through a lot of soul searching of figuring out why I am the way I am, why I react to things a certain way. What are my limitations? Because you believe it or not, the limitations that exist in your life, you set them. You set that limitation to yourself.
Right.
And that was one of the biggest eye-opening to me. I was like, oh, so if I can set my goal to make 6 digits this month, then I could also set my goal to make 7. I set that goal. It's just what you believe, but it's also hard. I also believe if you can't imagine it, you can't have it. You're not ready to receive it. So then also you have to train your brain of like, okay, I need to be able to imagine this for myself, because as soon as I can imagine myself, I can close my eyes and see the 360 and feel myself in that oceanfront property, and I can feel the breeze and I can hear the ocean. That means I'm ready to receive that. So it's a lot of soul searching. It's a lot of trainings. I have gone to 6 Tony Robbins events. I've been UPW twice. I've been at Business Mastery. I've been at Date with Destiny. I've been at private events. And he speaks my language. He is my dude that, you know, has the way up I receive information. Also, a lot of books. If you go on to Gogo's Real Estate on Instagram, in my links, you can go to my Amazon store, and in there you'll see all of the books that I read and recommend. I believe that the level you are at right now, it's like a book with multiple chapters. You can keep reading the same chapter over and over again, or you can go on to the next chapter. But in order to do that, you have to bring yourself up to that level of life. And in order to do that, you have to educate yourself. So the self-education never stops. I am literally constantly listening to podcasts. I'm constantly listening to audiobooks. I go to bed watching YouTube videos. I never put my makeup on without watching what are they called? Motivational videos on YouTube. So I literally just put my phone on the counter. I open YouTube, and YouTube already knows me. Eventually, it gets the feel of who you are and just gives me the next motivational video. I probably saw every Goalcast video that is out there. I have got to the end of YouTube and end of the book aisle and my research. And I just believe that it is very important in order to grow yourself to fix your mindset. 90% of your success is in your head.
Yeah. I want to jump before Nick jumps in with that. Absolutely. I feel a lot of times people, I say, you know, read this book I've been reading, or check out this podcast, or watch these videos, and people will kind of balk like, what's the ROI in it? I know that's what's ticking in their head, basically. You know, what's the ROI in that? How does that investment do this? How does just my brand or doing this? And what I'm getting, you talked about, you know, events, you go to 6 events, you've gone to podcasts, on and on and on. And when people ask me sometimes like different success, how'd you book or podcast or different things, they go, well, that level of success or what you're having. I go, the truth is most people just don't do these things. It's not so much that I'm doing like way up here. It's just because most people aren't even doing this. And by just doing this, you can be so far ahead. So I appreciate you sharing that. I think you encourage a lot of people by saying, couple of those things, watching those things really change your mindset and change the whole way and create a vision for you.
And if I may add to that, it's not enough just to listen in. You must implement. You must act on it. Because one of my favorite quotes that changed everything of how I look at things is this: the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and again, and expecting a different result. So if you're not willing to change what you're doing today, then you can't expect a different result. You can't keep doing what you have been doing to make 100,000 to make 500. It will require you changing your ways.
Yeah. Great. Yeah.
Awesome stuff.
And John, by the way, you're great at it. You're the most consistent person in my whole Facebook follower group. Every day you're consistent with it.
Thanks, man.
Even to the hat and the shirt. Look at that.
You gotta brand yourself. That's right.
Yeah, did you wrap the Jeep yet with that logo?
I'm meeting with the designer to finalize our wrap design, so I'm excited about it.
Yeah. We want people to close their eyes, and if I say Target, can you see the logo? If I say Starbucks, can you see the logo? That's what we want. We want people to know Gogo when they see the logo. They want people to know John when they close their eyes. They want them to be able to recognize you and know what you do when they see you.
Awesome, Gogo. Yeah.
Hey, so Gogo, I wanted to just kind of wrap up with this. I'm going to say a couple statements because you have just so much great value and content for everyone that you've given us today. So I'm going to just say a couple statements, and I'd love if you could just give a response based on what the statements are. So the first one is, audience is the new currency.
Oh, absolutely. If you look at my 3,095 posts, and I have posted through my career, I also sold over 60-some million with that. So if you divide that, let's do them. Look how much my audience is worth. Okay, so if we take 60 million times 3%, that's 1.8 million divided by 3,095 posts. One post is worth about $581.
Bam. Love it. Love the math.
Audience is currency. Yes. Proven right here.
For everyone out there, audience is the new currency. You have to focus on your audience and keep growing it. So how about this one? The average American spends almost 3 hours a day on social media. What do you think of that?
Oh, I think it's more than that, especially now during COVID.
Could be. Yeah. Good point.
Yeah.
Good point.
So what does that mean for realtors out there that maybe think to themselves, man, I haven't even logged into Facebook, and God, I don't even know the last time I did log into Facebook. What do you say to those people when I read you that statistic?
Well, everybody else logged in, so you missed out.
That's a great answer.
They saw me. They didn't see you. They saw me.
Yeah. So your competition's winning, and you're letting yourself down, really, right? You're left out of the party. So how about this one? I don't have enough time in the day to keep up with all of my social media and my DMs and my messages. What would you say to that?
Guess what? Last I checked, we all only have 24 hours. I don't have more than you do. Bill, do you get more than 24?
25. No one else knows. I get an extra hour.
Well, you're lucky. Well, I didn't get that. When God was giving out the 24 hours, I only got 24.
Yep. We're all rationed the same.
Nobody has more time. You make time whatever is important to you. So if social media is not important to you, and it's not for everybody. So not everybody has to do social media. Don't get me wrong. But if you haven't found your cup of tea, if open houses is your cup of tea and that's where that's your money making activity, continue doing that. But imagine how many more potential buyers you could get if you took that same open house and put it on social media.
I was going to say, while you're at the open house, take a picture.
You're doing what you love doing, but now you just exposed it to thousands of people. I mean, just to think about it, the one thing I post, so I post one, it takes me about, I don't know, maybe 8 minutes, 5 to 8 minutes to make the post, make the right links, link it to the people, share the location, yada, yada. I make the post. That post can be seen by 45,000 people plus everybody who's not following me and going to find my account on their terms. They could be on the toilet. I don't care. It could be the middle of the night. They could be on vacation. I don't know what they are doing, but they are going to see my post, which took me 5 minutes. And that 5 minutes is going to work for me 24/7 for the rest of my life whenever you see it.
And Gogo, how many times a day do you post?
About once or twice.
Okay.
Yeah, once or twice a day. And then I was going to follow that up with, when you're posting, a lot of people get very confused over hashtags. Go to your insights, though. If you've ever used a hashtag and you go to your insights, you have a business account on Instagram or Facebook, go to your insights. You can see how many views and likes you get from the hashtags. And I'll tell you this much. My better half, my girlfriend, Annie, she'll check her insights and she'll have like thousands and thousands of views from hashtags. And then she's like, see, I told you they work. So what do you say to that?
Oh, absolutely use hashtags. You can use up to 30. You don't have to use all 30. If you use more than 30, they're not going to make your post. It's just going to go blank, everything that you type up. So make sure you use less, maybe 15 to 20 is probably an ideal amount. And hashtags just mean search words. If you were to search Instagram for something, let's say you talk about $1 Million Mindset, and you want to see everybody else that in the $1 Million Mindset Club, then what are they posting today? So you just put in $1 Million Mindset in the hashtags and you find every post that tag, that hashtag. So that's how that works. It's just, if you given it a tag of what this post is about, so people can find it.
I love that, because that's exactly what I was going to follow up with, which is like, people will ask me all the time, well, what hashtags should I use? And you just said it. Use the words that you would have searched for to find this video. So this video right here, I might use realistic realtors or Nick Macri or Gogo, Bill Price, John the Mortgage Smith, but then I'll also say other things like social media tips or advice on social media marketing, like strategy, whatever you might search to find this video, whatever video you're posting, use those tags, right? So you're also going to want to create a tag for yourself, right? Like you have Gogo's Real Estate, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. So I have Gogo Bethke, Gogo's Real Estate, Gogo's Bootcamp. Everything that I do is always tagged in my hashtags. So creating your own hashtag is very important. So if yours is Real Nick Macri, am I pronouncing it right?
There you go. See, it's Italian, so you're pretty close. You got it.
Okay, good. So then you would hashtag that. John, you're John the Mortgage Smith, then you would hashtag John the Mortgage Smith, all one word.
Yep.
Awesome
And
stuff.
that's the brand. So you create it. You literally just put a hashtag in front of it and take the spaces away.
Yep.
And that's a hashtag.
It's never been easier to create your brand, right? I mean, now is like the golden age for that, but it's so important. So it's twofold. It's never been easier to create your brand, but it's never been more important to have a brand, because if you do not have one, you're not standing out from the competition. You are, one of the sheep. You're blending in. You're not the shepherd.
Not an option. Millennials are going to be the biggest market of home buyers because they're upsizing now. And if you think about it, or moving out of mom and dad's basement if they're a later millennial. But either way, they are the biggest market the biggest chunk of the buyer's market. And if you don't exist on the Google and you don't exist on the internet of any shape and form, you don't exist to them. They're not going to Google you and find your page 7 pages down on Google and go to your site, to go to the bottom of it, to find the contact button, to take you to an email address, to send you. It's not going to happen. They're going to send you a quick DM and they want to DM you back. They don't want to make eye contact. They don't want to meet in person. They don't even want to talk on a freaking phone.
Yep.
They want to send you a quick message and they want you to message them back and be like, sure, let's do it.
Yeah, NAR found that like over half of all home buyers found their realtor online. Wasn't through a referral, wasn't through some, other piece of marketing. It was just online. So that's you're missing a huge portion of the population right there if you don't have presence, right?
And I think it's going to be even bigger. The numbers are going to be bigger for the future. So you want your slice of pie now.
Yes. Get your real estate out there. That's what I say.
Yeah.
Get it now.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's a grab. It's a rush for that, right? I mean, like there's no end to that. It's only going to keep going. So why start tomorrow? Start today,
Absolutely. You have to have a social media presence or you don't exist.
Okay, guys, great stuff. Gogo's got to get back to Dwayne and Duke and Kobe. So we appreciate Gogo spending the time with us today. And Gogo, I always take notes, and I'm going to review a bunch of stuff that you said, okay?
Awesome. If I may add to this very quick, if anybody wants to get more training on social media, we have a very extensive social media bootcamp. It's called Gogo's Bootcamp. You can go on gogosbootcamp.com, check it out. If this is mostly eXp agents, I can give you an eXp discount. It's 25% off. So just put / can I type it in here, or can somebody type it in for me?
Sure. And I'll put it in here too. And what's your handle? Gogo's Real Estate, right?
Nope. Gogo's www.gogosbootcamp.com.
Yeah, Nick, we got to get our team on that.
And the eXp discount, you would put a /eXp at the end, but you must use your eXp email address to get the discount. If you use the discount and you didn't apply with an eXp email address, we will boot you.
Shout out again your Instagram handle. That one's at Gogo's Real Estate, right?
Yeah, that one is at Gogo's Real Estate. Yeah. So the Gogo's Bootcamp is open for everyone. Don't get me wrong, but the discount I'm only can give to eXp because eXp gives a lot to me, so I give back.
Great stuff. Good stuff. Okay, Gogo, I'm going to share now everything you shared with us. Just a real quick review. Okay, you're not selling yourself as a realtor. Okay. I mean, you're not selling real estate. You're selling yourself and your services. Okay. Yeah. And that's really important. That was a great point. You were bold enough to say shameless self-promotion. I'm not shy. Gogo has over 3,000 Instagram posts, 3,095, I think you said.
Yeah.
When you're posting, do not shove being a realtor down your Facebook followers' throat. Okay. And just don't post like flyers and ads. Like you said, talk about it. Be yourself. Also, if you're going to run ads, you better track your social media demographics. You must know your target and you must know when to target them. Okay. And you cannot kind of do social media. Okay. You have to be consistent and you have to do it. Even though you're only posting 1 or 2 times a day, you never missed. And you're also sharing really good stuff with your followers. You also said you have to follow your followers and comment on what they comment. Okay. You have to respond to them.
Yep.
And that's how you grow and take care of your sphere of influence. Okay. You basically do that by following your clients, respond to their posts, respond to the people you follow. What Gogo really wants in life, she wants everyone to close their eyes. And when they see the Gogo logo, they think of Gogo herself. So we will do that, Gogo. You're awesome. I can't wait to see you and Dwayne, hopefully in Vegas, if all goes well, for the eXp Con.
Absolutely. And I don't want that for just me. I want that for everyone. I want that for you. I want it for all of the agents that want to do this with social media and want to do it for free. Because if I can help you do it organically, because it's 10 years of trial and error. You know, I was forced to do this because I was broke when I got into the industry. I had about $6 between my husband and I. And that was our money for groceries that week. You know what I mean? So I was forced into this. I have figured out a lot of the tricks, and we can do it for free and organically. And my goal is to help everyone to be able to do that, because this is fun. It's fun when the clients come to you.
Right.
Well, Gogo, awesome stuff. You did a great job. It was great seeing you. Once again, we appreciate all the advice you gave to all our listeners. You go have a great day. And next time, we'll talk to you guys soon.
Bye, guys. Have an awesome week.
Bye, guys.